You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
Yes, sir.
You know what that does to you? Huh?
No, sir.
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
What's good, everybody? It's your brother, Mad Black, the most dangerous and most toxic black man on the internet. The brother who told you not to let that crackhead get a hold of a gun, but you did it anyway, and now they're being indicted. And I'm black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. So it would seem that the president's son, Hunter Biden, has been indicted on federal firearms charges because we all know that Hunter Biden is a crackhead, and during the time of his drug use, he was sentenced, and once you are a drug addict, they try to keep guns out of your hands, but this fool went and bought him a gun anyway in 2018. Okay, so that was found out, and now they're pressing charges on his crack-headed ass. So, I don't know what Hunter was thinking, but well, obviously, if he's a crackhead, he wasn't thinking with a full deck, okay? And he should have known that crackheads are not allowed to have guns, okay? And I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm interested to see if this indictment holds any weight for Hunter Biden, because not only is he just the president's son, but there's a re-election coming up, and I'm wondering, will this hurt his father's chances at all? I mean, Joe Biden's numbers are already in the toilet as is, and Joe Biden is just about as incoherent as a crackhead would be, right? I don't know. Joe Biden actually looks like a Muppet to me nowadays. Like, he looks like an old Muppet. Like, I don't know if someone's actually, has their hand up his backside and actually using him like a puppet, because he doesn't seem like he's all there. And the fact that we have that as our quote unquote leader of the free world, that doesn't make me very comfortable for what our position is. This is why I'm often very fatalistic when it comes to not only politics, but just civilization as a whole. Because we let the idiots and the weirdos and the incompetent run the entire asylum. It doesn't make much sense whatsoever. But back to the crackhead, Hunter Biden, we all know he smokes crack. We all know he does heavy drug use. He loves the hose, right? And even though he has all these charges on him, he still decided to go out there and try to get a gun. And there's nothing more dangerous than a drug addict, especially a crackhead, who has access to a weapon. Now, he should not even be out on the street to go buy a gun. Like, you would think that the fact that he's a known drug addict, a known crackhead who likes to smoke crack and hang out with hoes, that he would not even be able to go anywhere and get near a gun, right? You would almost think that there was, if only there was some sort of, law, or, maybe if there was some sort of legislation that could, get rid of these types of people, a crime bill, if you will, right? Oh, that's right, there is one. Joe Biden made one back in the 90s. I remember now. There was a crime bill that was specifically made for these crack-headed criminals like Hunter Biden, but somehow he still seems to keep maneuvering through the cracks, and he's not swept up in the net of this quote-unquote crime bill. You see, that the crime bill was specifically made for black people, and it was made to destroy the black middle class. All right? That's what that crime bill was for. You see, you had and once again, I always say this, you have both the Republicans and the Democrats working as a tag team to destroy black society. The Republicans let the drugs come in, and they had their buddies in both South America and other non-communist countries bring drugs into the black neighborhood, set up the economy. The Republicans helped take the jobs away from the males. They sent a lot of manufacturing and factory jobs overseas. So a whole new black market economy took hold in the black community with drugs. Then the Democrats tagged on in there and said, okay, we got to clean up all this crime in the black neighborhood. Let's make a crime bill that just arrests everybody, whether they're drug addicts in possession of drugs or they're selling drugs, and just put everybody in jail. Mamas too. Everybody goes to jail, right? So that's the thing. Like, a lot of people think that when we talk about the destruction of the black community, it's always one party or the other. It's both. They work as a tag team. They're like the Legion of Doom when it comes to dealing with black folks, okay? And they tag in and tag out, and sometimes they do special moves together, right? So, but Hunter Biden, somehow he has slipped through the cracks, and I mean, not somehow. We know why he's never faced any type of real charges, or why he's never really been in any real trouble over his crack use or his drug use, and I doubt anything will happen to him over these federal gun charges. Now, what's very interesting and a little funny to me is that it's come out from a lot of these gun groups and like the NRA and stuff like that, that they're actually in a little bit of a pickle here with Hunter Biden, because they hate Joe Biden, they hate Hunter Biden, they hate the Democrats as a whole, because a lot of these gun rights groups are staunch Republicans, and they don't even like these laws that are out there that are against crackheads buying guns and whatnot, right? But they are all for Hunter Biden going to jail. So they're in a tough bind here in a way, and a lot of them have actually been very quiet on this whole situation with Hunter Biden, because once again, they hate the laws that are prosecuting Hunter Biden right now, but they also hate Hunter Biden more than that. So they're like, well, there's going to be gun laws, at least is getting our political enemies, right? So they're cool with that in that regard. But some of these assholes need to be swept up right behind Hunter Biden, because I know a lot of these other scumbags on the Republican side, they do worse than just crack. They do methamphetamines and everything else, so they shouldn't be allowed to get guns either, right? But there's so much hypocrisy from these white males on both sides of the political aisle, and they always want to use these laws and everything to degrade us. That they always feel that when they create these laws against crack or guns or whatever, it's only going to affect us. But every once in a while, that shit comes out and it stings them as well. All right, they get caught up in the dragnet as well, and I'm happy to see it. And you might even want to call me a little bit of a hypocrite, okay? And in this case, I'm okay with being called that, because I don't like a lot of these crime bills and federal crime laws when it comes to locking up drug addicts or abusing drug addicts just because someone is addicted to a certain drug or whatever, that they should be locked up. But in Hunter Biden's case, I will make an exception. Yes, lock his old ass up, okay? And if he has gun charges, lock his ass up for that. Too many black people have suffered behind all this type of nonsense. They didn't have a rich, senile old daddy to help them, an old racist cracker to help them in the federal government. So he should have to go through the same thing, all right? And, once again, I don't know what's up with Joe Biden himself, but I don't know if he's not on crack, but he's on cracker. He's on that disease, okay? Because he's been an old racist devil for most of his life. So, I mean, that's enough to, mess with your mental faculties. So you folks let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. I very much like to hear your opinions on this. And do you think Hunter Biden deserves to be locked up on these gun charges? I do. I hope they do lock him up. Okay, because that's not right. You can't be out here smoking crack and messing around with hoes and buying guns. What's wrong with you, boy? Send his old bitch ass to jail. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on the devil's back.